woensdag de 18e augustus. Het is 2:30. We zijn op het spoor van Kesey, schrijver van het boek One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. En bekend uit het boek van Tom Wolfe, Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. Kesey, onderweg met zijn bus, we hebben hem gevonden. Het heeft even geduurd. We rijden op dit moment van Bristol naar Swansea. Het regent pijpenstelen. En Kesey is met zijn bus, voor op een groot bord Further, vol met hippies, onderweg naar Swansea, waar hij een voorstelling gaat geven en daarna, ik geloof ik, op een boot stapt richting Ierland. We zullen het zien. We hebben in het internet gezien dat hij op weg was van Londen naar Swansea. We hebben hem nu op de autobaan onderschept. We rijden achter hem aan en kijken wat er gebeurt.
Somebody who has a prominent town hippie. That or we'll put it up there to that statue. And we'll take our pins and stuff out so if you want stuff signed, we'll just sign it. Go ahead on top, Chris. That sounds good.
Go, Chris, go. Nice.
We're going to paint this painting. You guys want to help?
Yeah.
W? Yes, yes, it's a real old acid test. No more acid test. Yeah. Yeah, that's got Garcia singing Abertawi.
His mouth is a towie.
The maestro. Clever boy, but I bet you don't speak well, sir. Put some of this down. I know how we do it. And that'll be your place. Paint inside here.
Should we put our name on it as well?
Right up. Left hand and the right hand.
Sorry. Can I take a photo? Sure, go ahead.
Get any of these colors you want inside door.
I'm sure he's up there somewhere.
Me too, I've become more and
But
more.
never mind.
CIAN?
Yeah, but not to worry.
Looks like a Welshman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have become more and more convinced there's something up here.
Oh yeah, I know he's there. He'd have been able to go around. Thank you very much.
These are the biggest nasties of pins.
I'll try.
Okay, we're sitting here on the sunny square in Swansea, speaking to Anonymous, who was an original member of the bus crew. We were just talking about Merlin, finding Merlin. I explained to you we're doing a tour of the holy sites and looking for this sacred power, for the mystical side of, let's say, tourist swamped attractions at the moment. How's the search for Merlin being for you?
It's been fruitful. I have found more magic in the English and the Welsh people than I have ever imagined possible. And if Merlin is not found by anybody else, Merlin has been found by me just by being here. I mean, I have my own Merlin. That's my thing. But the whole magic around this United Kingdom is Merlin, I believe.
So how's the response of the English people been to meeting that bunch of hippies that travel around in a big colorful bus?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Here's one of our drivers. I haven't had such a response. People look, people smile, people react, and there hasn't been too much animosity. Just a lot of speculation and, oh look, you know, and then oh wave, hello, how are you? Curiosity, a lot of curiosity, a lot of curiosity. It's been great. I'm really surprised. I am very surprised at the response. Some of it's small. It's a small movement, though, you know. There's Mountain Girl over there.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, there she is.
So if you would try and compare the change over, because it's been 30 years almost, huh?
Yeah.
Or yeah, more or less.
Yes.
What would be a couple of keywords that come to mind if you compare the reactions of the people 30 years down the road?
Compared to the English people? None. The English people are like the American people were the very first time we were on the road in 1964. Because now that we were on the road here, we get a lot, or in the United States, and this time we get a lot of negative reactions because of, you know, because of the movement before. But this today is like yesterday. Here today is like yesterday there. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Sort of. I'm trying.
I mumble my words a lot. I'm not used to. I'm used to being anonymous and quiet. And, you know, this isn't what I do.
Hence the name.
Hence the name.
Hence the name. All right, well, we spoke about that gig tonight. We're surely going to catch up with you guys and come and see it.
Good,
Thank you.
wonderful. I'm looking forward to see you. I'm
All right.
looking forward
say,
to...
Say hello to your family in Amsterdam or in Holland.
Oma Muka, Tante Janka, Oom Ada. Hello. Daddy says hello. God, wouldn't this be great if they saw me? Hi. Akke, Grita, Johan. ¿Cómo está? Thank you.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
I can't find him afterwards. And also, I mean, I'm going to get some say
We're from Amsterdam doing
Oh, is that right?
a short documentary on
Oh,
the
excellent.
holy sites in England. As a matter of fact, we're on a holy site here right now.
Are we? What is this site?
I have no idea, but it's a holy
Right.
site. Look,
You
it's
can
got
tell.
the bus.
Right. Now it
It's
is.
got a castle.
And it's got this incredible fountain up here with the most beautiful fountain. And then the story we set to sea in boats and search for the thread of light leading us on or something like that. I mean, it's just it's the most exquisite little poem there. Anyhow.
I've read in the internet that you're looking for Merlin.
Yes, we are. We're searching for signs of ancient Merlin. And we're also, I think at this point, we are the manifestation of Merlin's luck.
Really?
Well, we haven't had
How?
a single breakdown. We haven't really had a mishap on this whole trip. And that is so unusual in itself that we have to assume that Merlin himself is giving us a boost.
Now, I've seen that your tour takes you basically through all the great mystical power places in England. Have you felt or experienced any of that great ancient power, wisdom, whatever?
Well, we went to a couple of wonderful stone circles. And my feeling about the stone circles was that they were so ancient and that they were sort of imbued with power from so many people over time, going there and sort of touching there. You could call them touchstones to the past. And so the juxtaposition of the far past on the modern world here is so different from the States, where almost every aspect of the people that were of the ancient times has been wiped away.
Yeah, that's
It's really fun for us to look at these things and imagine what it might have been like here, like this beautiful tower here, which I think is 11th century. And that's just an incredible length of time to us, about the 11th century. That's a long time ago.
That's right.
Well, there is, but they're so old, the Native American cities and so on. But you have to travel a very long way to see them. They're far away in the wilderness.
Now, how about your experience traveling on the bus in the UK? How's that been?
Cold, wet,
I said that before.
slow.
Really? It's been
But we've
cold,
been
huh?
really fortunate. We've had no breakdowns, and we've been moderately well received, except by the cab drivers in London who really didn't think we should be there at all.
Really?
So they weren't too happy with us. Well, we take up a lot of space and we don't know where we're going. So I think that the traffic problems in London are only made worse by having lost hippies from America wandering around in great big vehicles attracting attention. So we kind of felt like we were blundering. I was very glad to get out of London.
Really? So no really funky shopping at Harrods for you then?
No, we never made it to Harrods. We drove by for a minute, but we didn't stop. We actually did go to Camden Locks, and that was fun on a Sunday. So that was some great shopping. Very unique shopping. But we missed out on the shop. It's too expensive. London, this is much better here. Much more personable. People have time to talk to you, and I think Wales is a far nicer place than London. That's what I think.
Consider my gigs a success by how much money I don't lose. You always lose a bunch of money out on these things. You know, with this many people and this much stuff, you can't make that much money. So this is not only free, we're having to pay to show it and bring it around to people. And I wouldn't trade places with any of the other people. I think that we're having a great time doing what we're doing, and it's creative. And it's chancy, and it's on the edge, and sometimes we succeed and sometimes we don't. But the whole thing is always built around, man, you got a horsefly on you. Can you zoom in on that horsefly on his right arm there? That's a horsefly on there to kick your head off, man. Man, look at that booger. Right, I'll try to catch him. Almost. What were we talking about?
Horseflies.
Horseflies, all right.
Here we go.
But that whole scene last night was a pretty good evidence of what happens. We stumble along and bumble along, then pretty soon more and more stuff begins to stumble along and bumble along with us until we've got a great group stumble bumble and people coming in we've never seen before, and drummers and people with new costumes. Because to really be involved in what went on in the 60s, you don't want to just be entertained. If you want to be entertained, you can watch MTV. But people want to be part of a ritual. They want to be out there doing something with people, and they want to sing and dance and make noise and feel like that their input has some effect. And you can tell the more people that got up there on stage and up around with us last night, the better it got. It was, and finally I looked out there, like a third of the people are left sitting, and everybody else is rumbling around up there.
True. Yeah, because now that you mention ritual, isn't it true that we live in a society where it's very hard to find rituals for us grown-ups as well, but especially for the children? I mean, apart from either being in the army or being part of a gang, there's not much of rituals to be had.
Well, that's why I always call these things ritual realities, like virtual realities, only you're doing a ritual to bring it about. The one we did a couple of years ago was called Twister, in which takes place in Emerald City at the end of the world, and all of these same people played characters in The Wizard of Oz. George over there was the Tin Man. You can see he still has part of his Tin Man. Yeah, he still got his costume. Phil, the King Arthur, was the Scarecrow, and it was the same kind of thing where you're dealing with contemporary angst about the end of the world, or about the end of the millennium, or something coming around that is going to change, or we're going to go back and do it all over again for another 1,000 years. And everybody that shows up at these things are optimistic. There's optimism in every one of these faces you see out there, and joy, and a kind of relief to know that, my God, these old dudes ain't dead yet, and their bus is still running.
That's true. Now that you mentioned the millennium and optimism, what's your thought on the change of the year? And do you think the world's going to go down?
I did catch
caught something.
I did catch something. That must have been the horsefly. I'm sorry. What were you saying? Millennium.
Yeah, the change, year 2000, the whole, I'd say, not paranoia maybe, but it's getting close.
Yeah.
To what's going to happen when we change into the year 2000.
I think we have an opportunity to really nail down a consciousness right now that will make it hard for us to go back to being Milosevic and that whole consciousness. That everybody has seen it over and over and over on the great mandala. This happens and the Irish retaliate and the English retaliate or the Jews or something. It's the same old an eye for an eye. And everybody with any brains knows it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And we don't know for sure how to change it. But we recognize the need to change it. And the only way it can be changed is from the heart, where you are really trying to love everything and everybody that you run across, including spirits.
Speaking of spirits, did you encounter any spirits on your trip throughout the holy places in England?
Oh, sure. I mean, the spirit was evident there last night. If that had been a gospel meeting, you would say it'd be the Spirit of Christ. And who knows for sure what it is, but when the Spirit kicks in, you can feel it. And after it happens, then people begin to move in and try to sell it off. But by then, real revolutionaries have moved on to something else, so that you're not a sitting target. The thing that Don Juan tells Castanedas right away is, don't stand on the horizon too long. If you do, you attract attention and you get arrested or rousted or something. And so we're luckily moving just ahead of the worry, and everybody's in good shape. I got terrible split lips from riding on top of the bus, but other than that, Frankster's looking fine fettle. Look at this one strolling in. In fact, look at that pair over there. The pair over there.
Little bunny rabbit.
Uh-huh. Hey, you know, what I realize about the ferries, you guys need to wear less clothes. Uh-huh. No, I mean, putting a banner over a black T-shirt and black pants. Have those boys take those pants off. Get something on them that so it doesn't just look. Yeah.
Hey, Zane, you're buttoning your shirt wrong.
Well, that's good.
I can go with that. Hold on.
All right. Well, you guys are off on the next leg, I guess.
I guess so. I'm not sure. We're off to Liverpool for something. And Stratford-on-Avon. We're following in the footsteps of Shakespeare humbly. I mean, this is all about the Tempest and my charms are all o'erthrown. And everywhere you go, you run into evidences that people around here aren't aware of because they're used to it. But you'll see things that'll just make your heart jump, like the stones in Cornwall, where they are and where they've been set, and the pebbles on the Brighton beach. And so much of it has to do with stone and rock. I mean, these people, these Celts over here, they moved a lot of rock around.
You can say that.
And just like in Amsterdam, they learned how to rule the world by ruling the tides. And by changing the face of the economics in Europe that way, the Dutch have really had a handle on things for like 400 years. And the English have the same sort of handle, only it's on rocks. The Dutch deal with the tides, the English deal with the rocks. The Irish deal with the alcohol. We're on our way there. We were coming to Amsterdam for the hemp festival, and the...
That's in May, I think, somewhere.
No, it's in November. This was when we were going to judge the Cannabis Cup.
It's not going to happen, or it is?
It is going to happen, but Babs and I, who were going to be the judges, can't make it because we've got to go, and we had other stuff to do. And, yeah, we were looking forward to it. I love nothing better than going and staying in a hotel right near the Rijksmuseum, smoking a ball of hash about that big, and going over and sit in front of Rembrandt's Night Watch for about 3 hours. There's certain things that you need to sit in front of the real thing. Like anybody who hasn't been to the Van Gogh Museum don't really understand what the hell is going on until they actually stand there and look at these things one after the other. it's so powerful it makes you kind of nauseous, actually. But we'll make it to Amsterdam again. Do you guys know Simon Winkenoog?
Yes,
Oh.
he's I wouldn't say a close personal friend, but the TV station we're doing this for belongs to Luke Sala, and he's a close personal friend of Simon Winkenoog, and he will surely show this to Simon.
Yeah,
that's for
good.
sure. So if you have anything to say to Simon, go ahead.
Simon, when are you going to come to visit us over in Oregon? We've paid visits to your place about 14 times. We haven't seen you in Oregon once.